Hello everyone and welcome to some Christmas film recommendations. So, I don't know about you guys, but recently I have been consuming Christmas films like junk food. I've been watching them all over the place, and obviously I've been watching some of my favourite Christmas classic films that I've loved for years, like Elf and The Grinch and Home Alone and Love Actually. But there are also some Christmas films that I've seen for the first time this year, and obviously I don't know how well known some of these films are, but I just want to let you guys know of their existence, and if they sound like your kind of thing, obviously you can look them up, watch them for yourself and get into the Christmassy spirit if you're not already in that place. So the first one that I want to talk about with you is actually a 1970s Christmas slasher film called Black Christmas, and I'd never heard of this film, and then one of my favourite booktubers, Cameron Cheney, tweeted that he was about to sit down and watch it and that it was one of his favourite Christmas films, and he has some very similar horror tastes to me. So I looked this film up, I watched it, and I loved it so much. It really got my pulse racing. It was so creepy. It follows a group of girls living in a sorority house as they are harassed and then slowly, one by one, murdered by an anonymous, a crazy guy who is hiding in their attic. It's very blood-chillingly violent and creepy, and we never actually find out who it is that is doing these things to these girls, and I loved that. Like, at the end, the suspense and the fear and the mystery was all still wide open, and I really loved that. There was no happy ending, that it was all tied up and the person was caught or anything like that. It was just so creepy, and I love that happened. I love that we never actually found out, because obviously that's open to our interpretation and stuff like that. Apparently there was a remake made a few years ago that wasn't so good, and I haven't seen the remake, but obviously I would definitely recommend watching the original 70s version if you are looking for a really good Christmassy slasher film. So yeah. The next one that I want to talk about is actually another darker Christmas film called A Christmas Horror Story, and this is one that I actually just found on Netflix, and this is a very different Christmas film to anything else I've ever seen. Essentially, I'd say it's like an anthology of 4 different stories that are very loosely connected, so they all happen in the same town. So one of the stories, we see a Santa who is seemingly killing some zombie elves. The elves have somehow contracted a zombie virus and he's killing them all. There's another story strand where a family go to a forest to cut down their Christmas tree and bring it home, but they don't just bring a tree home, they actually bring a really creepy changeling child home too. And there's another story strand where a group of students are making a documentary in the nighttime hours of Christmas Eve inside a school that used to be a home for unmarried mothers, and there are some malevolent spirits haunting and possessing them. And then there is a 4th story strand of a family who all have their certain problems and naughty traits to them, and they are being haunted by Krampus, who is like the anti-Santa Claus, I guess. He punishes naughty people at Christmas. So all of these things are very loosely connected. I did not see the twist coming at all. There was a really big twist at the end that I didn't see coming, and I really loved that. So I definitely recommend it if you like your really weird, dark Christmas films. So as I said, it is on Netflix, certainly in the UK. I don't know what other territories it's available in, but definitely look out for it and watch it if you can. So yeah. The next one that I want to talk about is in a completely different vein to the first 2 Christmas films that I've talked about, and that is Get Santa. And this is a British family-friendly comedy Christmas film, and this is actually a film that I watched for the first time this weekend, and I loved it. I laughed so many times. It is very British, so I don't know how well the humour translates to other countries and other cultures, but it was just so funny. Essentially, it's about a father who has just come out of prison, and he is reuniting with his family. He obviously wants his family back together. He wants to make it nice for his son, and then his son finds Santa hiding in their garden shed after the sleigh has crashed, and Santa obviously wants the son and his dad to help him get back home. And it was just so funny. It really was. Santa ends up getting arrested because people obviously think he's crazy because he's insisting that he's Santa, and it was just so funny and really crazy, and just some really lovely light-hearted family Christmas fun. So yeah, I definitely recommend it for all of those things. The next one I want to talk about is a newly released Netflix original film called A Christmas Prince. And basically, this film is terrible. It's a really ludicrous storyline. There are some really, really cringe acting performances in it. But it's a really watchable, addictive film, and I've only seen it once so far, but I really want to watch it again because it's just so cheesy, incredibly cheesy. Essentially, it's about a woman who is a young journalist, and she is sent on an assignment to dig up the dirt on a prince of this fictional kingdom of Altovia, I think it's called. And while she's there in the palace, she is mistaken as a new tutor to the young princess, and she kind of just goes along with this mistake. She poses as the tutor in order to get close to the prince and get to know all his private life and stuff like that, and dig up the dirt on him. And it's just really, really cheesy. As I said, it's really cringy, but really watchable and really, really addictive. So I'm definitely going to be watching it again before Christmas. It's just really magical. Obviously, there is a romance as well. It's a very predictable, ridiculous storyline, but I would definitely recommend it if you're looking for some Christmas magical cheese this year. So yeah. And the last one I want to talk about is a film called Deck the Halls with Danny DeVito and Matthew Broderick in. And this is another really silly family film about two families who are neighbours, and they get into a kind of really silly war over Christmas lights and Christmas decorations, because Danny DeVito's character wants his house to be able to be seen from space. It's a really ridiculous notion and a storyline for a film, but it's just really, really good fun. And obviously that's the kind of thing you just want to sit down, have some fun with your family and with your friends at Christmas, and this is definitely a great, really funny, silly film to have on while you're having all of that fun. So yeah, definitely recommend Deck the Halls too. And that is it for my Christmas film recommendations. Do you know of any others that you feel I may not have seen? Please obviously let me know in the comments down below. I will leave all of my social media in the description down below. I hope you're having an awesome day, and I will see you very soon for another video. Bye bye.